Forced closings. However, there are in some cases in which the lender will force the position to be closed. This is usually done when the position is moving in the opposite direction of the short and creating heavy losses, threatening the likelihood of the shares being returned in the future. In this situation, either a request will be made to return the shares or the brokerage firm will complete the closing of the transaction for the investor. The terms of the margin account contracts will allow brokerage firms the freedom to do this. What's going on, guys? Lottery Stocks here. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, join the fam. It'll really help me out. It is free. But besides all that, I'm not going to press you guys to do that. Besides all that, let's get into the GameStop squeeze that we're all diamond handing. Diamond apes are holding. I'm gonna pop this picture up right in front of you. I want this video to be pretty quick and to the point. Right here at the top, we have GameStop. You see it starting the cycle on the left side of the circle. It is in downtrend, being heavily shorted. The stock is being heavily shorted. Then we come to buy and hodl, where all retail investors buy up the stock. And then now we have a floor ground. The stock is too high for the hedge funds to want to cover their positions. Now we go up through catalysts and we go up through DD on the side, and then we eventually hit DTC. DTC, you guys can see that the circle is not finished because the squeeze has not squoze. Right now, where you see DTC right up on the screen is where we are missing something major to happen to trigger the squeeze. The line before, right under DTC, excuse me, between buy and hodl, is where you would see catalysts and DD and everything else popping up to maybe bump the price a tiny bit or at least hold us at ground level. This can last however long you want, this line between buy and hodl and DTCC, which is what we are in right now, but we don't want it to last much longer. And here's a couple reasons why, or what we need to trigger this upwards into the squeeze. We need obviously heavy buying pressure. We need to show the hedge funds that big boost we can put into the stock, saying we are not giving up, we're holding. Not only are we holding, but we're putting buying pressure, because not only to scare off the hedge funds, but to scare the broker. And this is what I mean with the DTC rule and where we have to finish it. What we need, guys, is what I read in the beginning. I'm going to reread it to you guys, or I will pop it back up on the screen. We need the broker to force close their position because they are not doing it themselves. And I think they're not doing it themselves because they know they're going to go bankrupt. If not bankrupt, lose a ton of their assets. We either need the broker to force close their positions, or we need a longer time period issued by the DTC. So we need the DTC to issue a rule where the longer you hold a position, not the longer you hold a position, the longer you hold a short position in particular, your interest rate should go up at the end of the month. This is something that could potentially trigger the squeeze, because if you guys don't know, I do have a video about it. Maybe I'll pop it up right here on the screen. Hedge funds do have to pay fees and interest at the end of the month, no matter what they're holding. So they're holding all these naked shorts, and they have to spend all this money at the end of each month. Obviously, it's not a crazy percent, but if the DTC made it a crazy percent, this would probably force the hedge funds to close their position immediately before the end of the month. So that could be something that could trigger us. Or potentially we need a broker forcing a close, and I'm going to slap that back up on the screen so I can explain it further and better for you guys. Forced closings. However, there are in some cases in which the lender will force the position to be closed. This is usually done when the position is moving in the opposite direction of the short and creating heavy losses, threatening the likelihood of the shares being returned in the future. In this situation, either a request will be made to return the shares or the brokerage firm will complete the closing of the transaction for the investor. The terms of the margin account contracts will allow brokerage firms the freedom to do this. Okay, so a broker sees that you have a high account value, right? Because you need a certain account value. I believe it's over 200K or 250K to even become a hedge fund, short sell, whatever. So the broker sees that you have a high account value. They let you borrow these shares, right? And now the shares you borrowed to short, you were expecting the price to drop so you could buy back and give to the broker. Now GameStop, the price has skyrocketed after they borrowed those shares, and now what we want is the broker to force close. So the broker should be looking at the stock price and looking at their account and seeing, oh man, this is looking really bad for you. And if it's looking really bad for you, it's looking really bad for me, because essentially if in the end the hedge fund will say can't buy back the shares, it will leave the broker to do it. That's why us retail investors are in a win-win situation as long as we buy and hold. But once we get this force close, guys, if we put buying pressure on the stock and the broker is already skeptical, like, oh man, the stock is high and your shares are still in there, I get you're paying interest. That's why I'm not really closing your positions, because you're paying me a lot of interest, which is pretty cool and all. But now there's a lot more buying pressure on the stock. I really don't think it's ever going to drop down back to your ground level, and I can't risk buying the rest back for you, man. I'm sorry. Closes a position, and this is what we need, guys. Or like I said, we need a longer time period for interest rates to increase. The longer you hold those shorts should increase the interest rate by a ton, and that will potentially trigger the squeeze. And these are just my thoughts, my opinions, guys. I would love to hear your opinions in the comments, or whatever you guys want to say in the comments. I always answer you back. So yeah, guys, I hope you're all diamond handing and staying patient. If you're not staying patient, check out my last video. And if you want to know every day on the stock, and you want to just have research right in front of you, if you're actually watching this every single day to see when the squeeze is gonna happen and what's happening with the stock throughout the day, I would really appreciate it if you join the fam and we can chill, we can talk together in the comments. You can ask me to post a certain video. I like to be a family, guys, and I really appreciate it if you hit that like button too. It is free. Lottery Stocks out.
Shot like a movie skit, one shot he drop like a hooligan. How we gon' get to this bag when we focus on gunplay, but trapping is all that we got. All of us gon' make it one day like church.